Before we get started, we just passed 65,000 subscribers, which was the first of our many giveaway checkpoints from our 24-hour birthday bash back in September. A set of Batman comics, the winner of which is this person. Congratulations. Send us an email at contest@watchtowerdatabase.com so we can figure out how to get them to you. If you'd like to be the winner of our 67,000 subs giveaway, which is free signed custom artwork by yours truly, all you have to do is leave a comment on new videos. That's it. If that's our most recent video when we hit the checkpoint and the randomizer picks your name, the art is yours. I'll draw whatever you want, within reason. No Mr. Wing lewds. Okay, maybe. Now on to the video!
Hello? I know you must be surprised to see me here.
Not really.
Right. Well, anyway, what I wanted to tell you about is that I've changed. And I'm good now.
You can't possibly think that any of us would trust you, can you? I mean, how stupid do you think we are?
I admit I've done some awful things, but I've done some good things.
There's no way we can trust you after everything you've done.
You need to get out of here, now. And if we ever see you again, well, we'd better not see you again.
I can't believe how stupid I am. Stupid!
This better be about the Zeta Project.
Oh dear Jesus Christ, here we go again. It's been a little over 2 months since the 14th and final installment of Batman the Adventures Continue hit our smartphones and concluded the brilliantly drawn but arguably completely unnecessary DCAU extension that took up all of our time and half of our sanity in 2020. You know when the 7th Saw movie came out and it was subtitled The Final Chapter, and then some time went by and they came out with an 8th one anyway? That's kind of what this is. That's exactly what this is. But we saw this coming. We knew this would happen. Before Chapter 14 was even out, we'd already gotten news about a holiday special that was going to be released sometime in January. Physically, anyway. No digital release date, we had to guess. And like its preceding BTAC brethren, Chapters 15, 16, and 17 all came out at weird times of the night on weird days of the week that in no way gave us enough prep time to do a video for the following Sunday. So here we are, a week or so later, and this is the video. This is the video about the Batman the Adventures Continue holiday special slash actual finale slash I don't even know anymore, because for all we know they could announce another 7-issue arc tomorrow and we'd have to just roll over and say, yes, here's more BTAC videos, sir. Thank you very much. How much more dirt can I lick off your boots? God, I am already so mad and we've barely gotten started. Okay, I can do this. I just have to imagine myself in a happy place. A beautiful, sunny island paradise. The warmth of the sand between my toes. The mist of the ocean lightly caressing my skin. Ah. What's this? Mr. Wing is bringing me lemonade? No, this isn't a paradise. This is just another reference to the comic. The comic is my paradise. I live inside the comic. I am the comic, and the comic is me! Look, I'm not gonna go through the last Adventures Continue video's comments and do a correction speedrun segment. Those days are over. And I'm also not gonna go page by page this time because there's 66 of them. No, today we're just gonna take things nice and easy. Have a cup of more than mildly spiked eggnog and ring in the new year the way God intended, with a little bit of nostalgia and a whole lot of pain. This is... Did the title come up yet? Now, I could spend this whole video talking about how the plot of this story is completely derivative of the Batman episodes Holiday Nights and Double Talk. I could spend it comparing this to every other DCAU holiday special by ranking them in some sort of order based on best performance by a bell-ringing Santa Claus. I could spend it very slowly peeling back a recent hangnail I've developed while trying to wrap my head around why in the hell Nightwing was on so many covers but did not appear one single time. But rather than any of those titillating options, I'd prefer to just do what I do best. Point out Easter eggs and drink. This 3-part story... Oh my God, this is just straight brandy. This three-part story, titled Secret Santa, begins with the ventriloquist threatening to bomb Gotham City, using a type of explosive that's name-googling only yields results for camera and bicycle product numbers. But the real mystery here is whether this Injustice Guild blimp they're piloting is faster than Lex Luthor's plane. I got one last one in there! Scarface references the Chernobyl disaster, which happened on April 26, 1986, and Harvey Bullock calls out The Muppet Show, which premiered on September 5th, 1976, about 10 years before Chernobyl and 16 years to the day before the premiere of Batman the Animated Series. See, isn't this fun? Me pointing out trivia and stuff? Oh god. Luckily, Batman arrives and leaps out of a copy-paste of the Batwing model sheet to crash through the window, knock out the thugs that are colored like Muggsy and Rhino but aren't Muggsy and Rhino, and leap out of the exploding blimp as questionable driver's license-owning Robin flies in and pulls them to safety. Scarface uses the insult jabroni here, which is commonly attributed to former WWE wrestler and upcoming Black Adam star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but was actually originally coined by the Iron Sheik, an Iranian pro wrestler who predated The Rock's career by 35 years. You just learned something you can't tell me you didn't. At police headquarters, Bullock is badgering the ventriloquist, Arnold Wesker. Batman is wary of Bullock's methods, showing compassion for Wesker's fragile mental state and his well-being. Very in character, and not at all like when he kicked over Nora Freeze's dead body! I still hate that. I hate that so much. Paul thought that this was going to be one of the coolest reveals of the whole series. Batman's silhouette here is pretty similar to this old Cartoon Network Yabba Dabba Doom ad. And I said, certified freak 7 days a week, what? Wait, Montoya is a detective again? She was an officer in that one chapter that I'm not gonna bother to look up the number of until I edit this. The continuity of this thing is bonkers. After the police determine they're not gonna be able to get any information out of Wesker about some missing explosives, we cut to months later and Please Kill Me. Was this opening chunk taking place before all of the rest of the comic and now we're caught back up? Was the whole series taking place up to months before Christmas time? Which Christmas is this? If we're less than a year after Tim Drake became Robin, then is this the first Christmas he's Robin? Is Holiday Nights now the second Christmas that he's Robin? Is this comic New Year's Eve 1999 or 2000? Or 2020? Because the Joker makes a HBO Max reference soon. Dr. Joan Leland returns to reward Ventriloquist with paperwork that releases him from Arkham Asylum. We first saw Dr. Leland in the New Batman Adventures style in Ventriloquist's debut episode of that series, and she helped Wesker again in the 58th issue of that show's spin-off comic, Gotham Adventures.
All this has happened before. That will happen again.
Then we cut to Harley and Ivy, who are hanging out in some kind of greenhouse, but one that's like raised above building tops, kind of similar to Ivy's place in the Harley Quinn animated series, and quite extravagantly different from their rundown hotel hideout in Holiday Nights, meaning they either got a really nice upgrade or something terrible happened between now and then, depending on which way the timeline goes. If this is after Holiday Nights, then Harley finally got her Christmas tree she wanted so badly, albeit a tinsel version, which is much fuller but reminds me of the one the Flash gave Ultra Humanite in the Justice League holiday special, Comfort and Joy. Poison Ivy also name drops The Thin Man, a 1934 film that contains a scene in which a character played by '66 Joker actor Cesar Romero talks while staring into a mirror, like Harley is currently doing. That movie's sequel, After the Thin Man, also includes an IMDb credited character, Surprised Policeman Who Shot at Mirror, played by Richard Powell, who also played a doorman in the 1934 Moulin Rouge film, the 2001 remake of which starred Nicole Kidman, who just 6 years prior played Dr. Chase Meridian in Batman Forever. I don't know why any of that matters, but now you know all of that too. I'm also not gonna watch any of those really old movies to figure out if there's anything else important in them that I should talk about here, because they came out around when my grandpa was born, and I don't wanna and you can't make me. However, Harley then references Annie Get Your Gun, originally a 1946 Broadway musical that was adapted into film by MGM in 1950, starring Betty Hutton, who Harley mentions would be perfect to play her in a movie someday. Unfortunately, Betty Hutton retired from acting in 1980 1983, which lines up with Ivy saying that it's too late for her to play Harley. But she didn't die until March 2007, about 7 or 8 years after this comic is supposedly set. So I'm just gonna say Ivy's talking about the retirement, okay? Is that okay with you? But this does also possibly call back to the 2004 Bruce Timm and Paul Dini helmed miniseries Batman, Harley, and Ivy, in which a Harley and Ivy movie was being made, and Harley was furiously upset to be portrayed by in-universe music video model Fanny Cougar. I don't f***ing know how to talk. At least I talk better than Ted. Harley just wants to shop, which Ivy says they did last year before Batman stopped them. Oh, that's Holiday Nights. She's talking about Holiday Nights. This is after Holiday Nights. And then they decide they're gonna throw a big Christmassy shindig for all their supervillain friends. What could go wrong? We see the Gotham Plaza Christmas tree, which was also seen in Christmas with the Joker. And that bell-ringing Santa makes a reappearance after the 2 other holiday specials I just mentioned. We've got some carolers, ones who aren't modeled after Bruce Timm, Glenn Murakami, and Shane Glines. And Batman has a grapnel gun from Young Justice. Of course he does. Why not? Give him the belt clipping one from the Tim Burton movie next time. Do whatever you want. I don't care anymore. I'm broken. This is who I am this year. I'm just broken. I don't work anymore. Please return me. Joker and Straight Man, unsurprisingly, survived their waterfall-related death scene a bit ago. Joker uses his genius technological intellect to hack into Harley Quinn's laptop and find out he's not invited to the party. You know, the intellect that allows him to transmogrify Tim Drake's body and brain, copy his own DNA code into a microchip, create sentient robots, and invent various chemical poisons, but not remember which of 2 gases is flammable. I'm not gonna get over that anytime soon. Wait, did Harley leave her laptop with Joker when they split up for the 30th time? Did he go and steal it from the greenhouse hideout? How long has he been lugging it around? Was she at this Joker hideout when she emailed the party invitations? Did she send them from a different computer and Joker just hacked into her email account? All he'd have to do is know her login information. That's not a hard thing to do. That's not hacking. Her password is almost 100% certainly put in, and Joker is the hack. And as Mr. J destroys the laptop in frustration and decides he's gonna crash the party, we get this rather Killing Joke-esque closing panel. And that's just part 1 of 3. There are 2 more chapters to go through. I'm gonna make you sit through a Patreon party now, but after that we're gonna rattle off the name of a bunch of bad guys, a decent amount of which have never appeared in the DCAU before now. Also Condiment King. Why is he here? He's not a supervillain, he was just mind controlled into thinking he was one. We'll be right back.
Well, it's been 5 years. No, honest. The more things change, the more things stay the same.
Stop and turn the music off. None of that. We can't do that this time. Not to wake up the boy. We're gonna be really quick about this. We're gonna read off the Patreon names, okay? We got 3 new patrons. Evan McCombs. Thank you, Evan. Raymond Morris. You share a last name with the guy who does the voice of Vandal Savage. And Zach Stevens. Thank you, all 3 of you. Awesome. So cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, thank you to Squidward Tortellini for upping their patronage this month. That means the world. I think it was an annual subscription. That's pretty cool. Are you doing okay? Are you alive? Are you fine? Yeah, you're good. And as always, we have to say the people who are at the top tier. They support us all the time. Their names are Robert Sterling, Aaron Young, Cameo Shadowness, Luke Mears, Mac, and Richard Mon12. I did it without looking this time. So thank you, everybody. Patreon.com/DCAU Watchtower. You can get your name said in videos. You can get custom artwork. You can vote for upcoming videos. You can... Oh my gosh, there's so many other things. Just go look, please. Now let my child sleep, you idiot.
Happy birthday to us.
Part 2 begins in a surprising way. More backstory for Straight Man. As Batman and Robin watch him break into Arkham on computer monitors, we learn his name is Carl Finley, formerly an Army Special Forces operative. The only real-world Carl Finley of importance we could find was an athletic director of a Kansas City baseball team in the 60s who also served in World War II. But interestingly, within the DCAU, we already have a Carl Finlay, one of the 2 tornado-chasing brothers from Eye of the Storm, an episode of That's Right Kids, The Zeta Project. His last name isn't spelled in the credits, and it's only said a couple of times in the episode, so there's no official spelling. Could it actually be spelled the same, and this obscure random dweeb from the Robot Show is like straight man's grandson? Why? Why would you do this? These screaming Arkham doctors look a hell of a lot like the Wayne Tech scientists from chapter 1 of this series, and we get a decent amount of Easter eggs here in the Arkham weapons confiscation room. There's a Riddler cane, a freeze gun, a penguin umbrella, a Mad Hatter hat, a poison ivy plant like the big toothy Frank monster, scarecrow pumpkin bombs that look a hell of a lot like Joker's grenades from Return of the Joker, and definitely aren't another Hobgoblin reference, Ty, I'm onto you, and I have no idea what this is. A KG Beast wrist gauntlet? One of those tiny airplanes from Mask of the Phantasm? A very small garbage can? And finally, Scarface himself, whose glass case is very reminiscent of his eventual perma-home in the Batcave. Wait, why is all this stuff here and not in the police station? This is pretty easy access when people break out of Arkham every other day. Oh hey, Mr. Enigma, on the loose again, huh? Yeah, your costume and whatnot's down the hall. The first door on the left there. Yeah, you got it. The dynamic duo connect the dots that the Joker plans to mess with the ventriloquist in some way, and use yet another hilarious bat drone to spy on Wesker. Robin's even controlling it with basically an iPad in 1999 or so. Remember, this is 1999 or so, just a reminder. And now it's time for the party at the Iceberg Lounge. Harley shows up wearing a very festive, wintry outfit, but it should be noted that it's not quite the same winter coat that she wore in Batgirl Adventures and Harley Loves Joker. That thing wound up in the trash. It's off on one of those floating Gotham garbage bars now. Poison Ivy's also dolled up for the occasion in a leafy ball gown of sorts. Last time she wore a dress made of leaves, to my recollection, was in Gotham Adventures number 53. Designed by the great Tim Levins. That's not relevant to the story or anything, I just wanted to mention it because leaf dress. And here we go. Just look at all these bad boys and gals. Ain't no party like a Rogues Gallery party, cause a Rogues Gallery party only stops when Batman shows up. We got the Wonderland gang again. Mad Hatter, March Harriet, Walrus, Carpenter, Tweedledee, and Tweedledum, whichever one is which. We got what appears to be the Suicide Squad, or Task Force X, can't say suicide on Cartoon Network, as insinuated by Harley's comment about them being friends from work. Yet another super funny timeline thing because she shouldn't even know about them until Batman and Harley Quinn time, which is during Justice League Unlimited, but I digress, including Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, and King Shark? We've never seen this dude in the DCAU before until now, and he's got a very similar character design to his counterpart from Harley Quinn, the animated series. And King Shark is just killing it across DC franchises right now. Why is King Shark the thing? Who asked for King Shark? King Shark specifically. This guy's not to be confused with The Shark, a villain who appeared in Gorilla Grodd's expanded secret society in the final season of JLU, who is typically a Green Lantern villain in the comics. The Shark was an actual shark that was bombarded with radiation. King Shark was the spawn of a human woman and a shark god. Wait, so that means King Shark is not a shark. The Shark is a shark. You've been lied to! There was a magic bullet. Aglets are sinister. King Shark is not a shark. Also not to be confused with Vinny the Shark from A Bullet for Bullock, unless he's actually the son of a shark god and does a damn good job of hiding it. We've also got Roxy Rocket, who's seen making out with Captain Boomerang a bit later. So is she also a part of the Suicide Squad? Clock King's over here, not standing with the squad peeps, so God damn it, when is this set? When the hell is this comic taking place? I just want to know, why can't you just tell me? Why can't you people just be consistent? Oh Baby Doll is here. This is her first DCAU comic appearance ever. She finally made it off the screen and onto the page in 2013's Lil Gotham, then again a couple years back in Batman White Knight, but this is the first time the original Baby Doll has been in comics. She's on the cover of Gotham Adventures 45, but that doesn't count. You know that doesn't count. Can we take a moment to celebrate this? I have to focus on something positive, right? Cheers to you, Mary. You finally made. Wait a minute. In a few pages, she says she's 32 years old. But Summer Gleason said the old Baby Doll TV show premiered 20 years before that episode. And Commissioner Gordon said that Baby Doll was 20 years old in a final season clip and would be about 30 now. But if her show ran for 10 seasons, then she would be exactly 30 years old in Batman the Animated Series. And this new comic is set about a year after the new Batman Adventures, itself has been essentially retconned by this comic to be 4 years after BTAS, 2-ish like before. So Baby Doll would be at least 35 But
by
if
now,
Harley
not
is on the
32.
Suicide Squad, then this takes place during JLU, so Baby Doll could be pushing 40 by now, and oh my God, I hate this. When the hell is this comic set? There's also the Scarecrow, wearing a hood he attributes to a Charles Dickens theme, aka he's Christmas cosplaying as the Ghost of Christmas Future. Kinda giving off a Phantasm vibe there with the hood, the skull face, the scythe. Why is everybody Phantasm now?
He looks more like the Ghost of Christmas Future.
We got friggin' Kite Man over here, also looking pretty close to his Harley Quinn animated look, and two more newbies. Magpie, whose coloring is based on Monica Cabina's palette for the character in the DC Superhero Girls comic series, but is different from her original look in the Man of Steel #3, November 1986, and the Rat Catcher, another 80s villain, who I can only assume at some point loses all his rats in the sewer and they mutate to become the giant monster rats that we see in the Batman Beyond episode, Rats. Also, maybe one of them gets frozen in this very comic. Either that or this is a Pete Buttigieg cameo. Oh, keep your politics out of my DCAU video! Our last couple guests saunter in while Batman and Robin are spying from above. Nostromos, the con man who faked being a magical fortune teller in BTAS's Prophecy of Doom. And the one, the only, the Condiment King from Make 'em Laugh. Condiment King also appeared in the Ty Templeton written Batman and Harley Quinn prequel comic in 2017, fighting Batman and Nightwing, who even referred to a previous time they fought. And in 2016's Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures, in a single panel where Scarecrow's fear gas caused Batman to hallucinate all his worst enemies, including Condiment King for some reason. But in his first appearance, like I mentioned earlier, he's just a comedian, just a normal-ass dude, mind-controlled by the Joker to pretend to be a supervillain in order to ruin his own reputation. So is he still under mind control? Was there residual mind controlness? Did he snap out of it and he decided he actually liked shooting ketchup and mustard guns? Is this a different guy, like Mitchell Mayo from the Harley Quinn cartoon? Why does Condiment King keep showing up? My list of things from the post-DCAU Renaissance DCAU comics that need explanations grows with every single installment. Ventriloquist is at the party too, and mentions that every time Scarface was shredded up by bullets, the Carpenter would fix him, which means she, and possibly the Wonderland gang, were potentially active as far back as Wesker's first episode, Read My Lips, where we see Scarface torn up by gunfire. However, we do see Wesker repairing and rebuilding Scarface himself at the end of that episode. So retcon's gonna retcon. And yes, I did go through every DCAU ventriloquist appearance to figure out every time Scarface gets destroyed by bullets, and even though we do see him broken, dismembered, burned, or otherwise destroyed a number of times, he only otherwise dies in gun-related incidents that we see anyway, in Batman and Robin Adventures #7 and Double Talk, where he's actually riddled with bullets but then falls into a giant fan and is shredded into sawdust. I don't know how Carpenter managed to make that one work, but maybe she's a really good carpenter. On the next page we... Oh my.
Now come the days of the king. May they be blessed.
Well, I mean, he doesn't really do that much here. But he's here at Penguin's Key Nest, an obvious bird pun variation of Key West, part of the Florida Keys. Mr. Wing's presence brings to Penguin's mind the time that Jason Todd kicked Penguin out of a helicopter, which is then followed up by Penguin basically confirming that that was the accident that led to plastic surgery that transformed him from what we see in Batman the Animated Series to what we see in the new Batman Adventures, something that fans have been wondering for literal decades. Explained away in an action figure tie-in comic. That's why they updated the Penguin's design between the inks and colors of that issue, I'm sure of it. Outside the party, Batman goes incognito as Newt Brody, a disguise that's been used by nearly every member of the Bat family and made its first appearance in Detective Comics #1000 about a year ago, that segment being written by Paul Dini. God bless synergy. March Harriet uses Cockney slang Barney, meaning trouble, and causers, meaning police. Please feel free to start using those those in your everyday life. This Eileen Kwan character is a new one, the only other DCAU character so far with the last name Kwan being General Kwan of the fictional country Chiang Mai in JLU's first episode, Initiation, though it's unclear if they're related or if she's even Chiang Mai's. Kwan is typically a Chinese surname and also the name of a Korean martial arts school. Taekwondo literally meaning the 5 Kwans. I see. So there's General Kwan, Eileen Kwan, and 3 more to go. Nearby, as Kite Man fondles the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, he and some of the other villains sing an Arkhamized rendition of Christmas in Prison, a 1994 song by John Prine. And as Joker finally arrives, Harley uses the term figgy puddin', like a Harley Quinn branded "We wish you a Merry Christmas." Straight Man wishes Harley a Happy Hanukkah, and she's soon seen holding a menorah. Continuing from the original Batman Adventures holiday special and Paul Dini's Batgirl Adventures one-shot, the lore tidbit that Harley is Jewish. We get an "I didn't mean to" catchphrase out of Baby Doll, and another appearance of the back exit to the Iceberg Lounge that we saw in Chapter 13, as Newt Brody Batman breaks up the festivities and sends everyone scrambling with a notification that the cops will be there any second. And we close out Part 2 with Brody Man being knocked out by Straight Man as the Joker gets his hands back on Scarface and laughs his way into the night. There's still one more chapter of this Christmas goose to go, so
keep your shirt on, lady. I'm on a break.
Batman. Tonight at 6:30. Good guys wear black.
You blew it, you jerks!
okay. We can do this. Only 22 more pages to get through, right? Let's blast through this shit. Soder Cola saw it in that earlier issue with Batgirl on a smartphone. Ventriloquist opens his Brody gift of Christmassy socks and returns home surprised to find Scarface waiting for him, with the Joker
just standing there, menacingly!
Scarface calls the sock puppet Cecil, as in Cecil the C6 Sea Serpent, which the Flash also called giant worm Harv Hickman in the JL episode A Night of Shadows, and who also made an actual appearance in Paul Dini's graphic novel Dark Knight, A True Batman Story. Straight Man has made Scarface
lemony fresh.
And oh my god, I was so hyped for this for a second, thinking this was Nightwing, but nope! Why did I think I could be happy? This Joker car scene reminds me of Paul Dini's Joker kidnapping scene in Detective Comics number 826, and we get another use of the name Carrie after that little girl in Leslie Tompkins' office, but there's still no prominent Carrie in DC mythos or production staff other than Carrie Kelly, but that's not even spelled the same, so what does this mean? Who is Carrie? Who is Carrie? Santa Town, where it turns out the extra explosives are hidden, is similar to Santa Land in Cherokee, North Carolina. Ted lives about 45 minutes from there and can go to Santa Land whenever he wants, which I don't think he wants. A Santa-themed amusement park is very strange and you cannot argue this. Okay, the motherfucking HBO Max reference. Was this intentional? Are you guys screwing with us? You have to be. Could you not? Look, I know what you're gonna say. It's a sliding timeline. The present day of the DCAU is always whatever our current present day is. But with how we've been operating with the DCAU timeline so far on the channel, using on-screen dates and time references to build an actual set-in-stone chronology, if we say this lines up with real-world HBO Max, which launched on May 27th, 2020, then here are some fun facts about the DCAU timeline as it would become. Math-wise, this now places the near apocalypse of 09 between the flashbacks from Mask of the Phantasm and the start of Batman the Animated Series. That show now begins in 2010, and with the new Batman adventures taking place roughly a year before this comic, Batman's retirement scene from the start of Batman Beyond now takes place during the new Batman adventures. This confirms Batman is indeed Hush and the adventures continue. We can finally put that boy to rest. Also consider the fact that the Justice League traveled back to World War II during their show, where Wonder Woman met Steve Trevor, and at the end of that episode, she met back up with him at a retirement home. If we're extremely generous with Steve Trevor's age and say that he's 18 during the war, then fast forwarding 76 years to when HBO Max is a thing, the dude is at least 94 when Wonder Woman meets back up with him. Plausible? Sure. Likely? I don't know. I don't like any of this. But is that Justice League episode after B-Tech, or is it before it? Since the Suicide Squad exists, god damn it!
Oh! Why am I so bad at being good?
This also means that the James Bond film that Tim Drake wanted to go see can only be Spectre, which means it's been in theaters for 5 years. So Tim doesn't specify going to a theater, so maybe this comic is slightly ahead of real time, and he's talking about No Time to Die, which in this universe has already come to HBO Max. If it's coming to, is it coming to HBO Max? How do I watch that movie when it comes out? And maybe Tim just wants to sit down in front of the giant boxy Wayne Manor big screen TV and watch Daniel Craig with Bruce in the same way Dick wanted to watch It's a Wonderful Life back in Christmas of 2012 or whatever. So instead of messing up the entire timeline to accommodate brand integration, we gotta consider the fact that, God help me, HBO Max came out like 2 decades early in the DCAU. They have drones, iPads, smartphones, whatever else now. Why not streaming services too? Toss in Bat Bluetooth next issue. Batman doing the Harlem Shake, for God's sake. My personal headcanon is that this early 2000s HBO Max only streams Max and Ruby, Max Steel, and a Goofy movie. Don't ask me how they got the rights to a Goofy movie. I don't even want to be talking about this. Maybe Maxwell Lord or Maxie Zeus have a hand in getting this version off the ground. Oh my God, I'm moving on. Batman and Robin meet Commissioner Gordon on the roof of the police station, and holy crap, Ty was not lying about drawing Tim a little taller in this series. Dude's comparable to the Bat Signal's height now. Taking your Sarah Stone, eh, Timmy? Like the giant bulldog in Batman Beyond, the one that'll eat you if you don't leave a comment on this video. The heroes assess that Joker will do something doo-doo with the bombs at the stroke of midnight, as we've now jumped to New Year's Eve. I don't know what happened in the 5 or 6 days between scenes, but I don't care. This ball drop is not the same type of New Year's celebration as we saw in Holiday Nights. But if this is after that, maybe Joker's meddling with the giant bell made Gotham City Council rethink the holiday infrastructure. Either way, we do see some sort of New Year's Eve merrymaking going on in the Batman Adventures 3-part finale from 1995, which involved a very depressing scene of Dr. Hugo Strange watching his son die. So anyway, Alfred uses Ms. Kwan's info to help Batman track down Harley and Ivy's hideout. Only took him a week to think of doing that. And we see Harley walking in wearing, well, I'll be a super intelligent gorilla's uncle. It's the original winter coat. We should bring back the vanishing point just for the sake of trying to track the continuity of this coat, because what? Harley argues that she and Joker are completely separated. Yeah, right. Saying, he's so X, he's Planet X. Planet X was the home of the Super Batman of Zur-En-Arr, who first appeared in Batman 113 and made his historic Kevin Conroy voiced animated debut in Batman the Brave and the Bold. Batman finds a subway ticket and 2 nickels at Arnold Wesker's apartment, which, like, I get 5 and 5 are supposed to be 55th Street to tell him where the bad guys are, but Batman deduces their location based on the ticket alone, so what are the coins for? What are the coins for? Dumb and Dummy obviously riffs off Dumb and Dumber, and why does Joker's gas just knock Wesker out and not make him all laughy? Holy shit! It's the correct kind of batarang. Ty, my guy, thank you. You have no idea what this means to me. Or maybe you do because you probably watch these videos and you're messing with me on purpose.
Crowd control.
Batman and Robin swoop in to save the day, with Joker's not funny Batman being very similar to
Not Funny Bats
from Injustice for All, or maybe more memorably,
That's not funny. That's not...
After Scarface is destroyed, we end the holiday special as the heroes walk Wesker to the surface to celebrate New Year's Eve a free man, during which time apparently the police show up and arrest the Joker while none of them see this happen. And Wesker says he finally defied Scarface, even though this is basically what we see him do in every animated appearance of his, and we certainly see him do in Gotham Adventures 58. I don't understand the Adventures Continue, man. I just don't get it. Is it supposed to attract new fans to the DCAU? If that's the goal, then maybe it's doing its job. I don't know. I can't track the numbers. It sure is pretty to look at, and I can assure you that if I was 8 years old, I would not give one bat shit about all the continuity conundrums going on here. That wouldn't start until I turned 9. Is this being made for Batman the Animated Series fans who are all grown up now? Because that's me, and this comic is kind of meh. But then again, BTAS itself was not perfect. Not every episode was a winner. Remember when Batman got all messed up and had to hide from the Penguin in some kid's basement? Or when Batman beat up his old college buddies who were wearing rubber animal masks? Or when Batman fought giant praying mantises? Well, Okay, I can't say anything bad about critters or Maddie will throw me in front of an oncoming train. So maybe Batman The Adventures Continue is just not a winner. But it still exists. It's just kind of a bummer that it's not the masterpiece that we kind of all hoped it was gonna be. So maybe I'm expecting too much from an action figure tie-in comic.
You're right, Toph. Let's go find him and give him a medal. The not as much of a jerk as you could have been award.
I do like the Slade part though. The Slade part was pretty dope.
Batman The Adventures Continue.
It's good, but it can be better.
Maybe we're just too close to this thing right now. We need to give it some space, let it breathe. Come back to it a little ways down the road and see if maybe it's not as poopy as we think it is right this second. We were incredibly hopeful for it at the start. Even when things started to get a little weird, like Batman having super armor like a long time before he probably should, or Lex Luthor having his armor a long time before he probably should, or like Batgirl taking selfies. Maybe it'll age like a fine Paul Masson brandy that I've honestly been drinking throughout this entire filming. But maybe it won't. Only time will tell. And since this is what I do with all of my time, that telling will come soon enough.
All of this has happened before.
But the question remains, does all of this have to happen again?
Also, we noticed that there's maybe a couple of subtle COVID-related references in here, like Joker saying this last year was dreadful, or Batman talking about people who live isolated lives. But with the HBO Max gobbledygook, if this is 2020, it sure as hell got away free of the virus, or else this New Year's celebration would be the worst idea ever. Look how many people are in this crowd. Then again, maybe Corona also happened much earlier in the DCAU, as evidenced by this fandom short where Batman is still in his Batman the Animated Series look. Is this canon? I want it to be. It's about Batman and toilet paper, the two essentials of life. With that all laid out, I think we may be able to finally say goodbye to this comic series.
I'll send flowers.
Until there's more, and I look stupid in this video. Yes, James, that's the only reason you would look stupid in this video. Will the adventures continue further? It remains to be seen. As of the moment I'm recording this, we've gotten no official announcement of any more issues, and Amazon is listing a trade paperback collection of the series for release in June. Ty Templeton has started releasing previously withheld model sheets on his Instagram, and Monica Cabina says she's not currently working on anything more for BTAC. So unless she's hiding something from me, I think it's safe to say we're safe. For now. Unfortunately, that Slade Jason scene was pretty open-ended, and I would like to see what would happen with that. Maybe aim for a movie for that team up. Just a single movie that we can do a single video on. Except we did do 6 videos on Batman and Harley Quinn and 8 on Justice League versus the Fatal Five, so you know what, just don't. I don't want that. I don't need to see the Deathstroke Red Hood story. I can just use my imagination.
I wonder what he's seeing.
Whatever it is, it's too good for him.
Thank you so much to all of our supporters over on Patreon. Hold the fucking phone. One of Ty's newly released character designs is a vampire Bruce Wayne. That panel that spawned the Hush LOL meme looks almost exactly like this dude. Batman retired a year ago and was replaced by a vampire. Vampire Batman is goddamn Hush! Our Patreon supporters have already made 2021 an extremely happy new year by donating to the Watchtower Database and helping to turn this YouTube channel into our full-time jobs. You can get your name on this list and said out loud in a video once you join by becoming a member of the family over at patreon.com/DCAU Watchtower. I cannot believe the amount of support we've gotten from these people, especially throughout the floating Gotham garbage bar that was 2020. And hey, if you can't toss $1 into the proverbial WDB wallet, we get it. Instead, or in addition, you can hit the big red subscribe button below my body and click the bell for notifications so you always know when we upload new videos. They're on Sundays, but please just do the subscribing thing anyway. Why would you seek out the videos when you could get your phone to tell you with a little beeping sound? Beep. Yes, Batman The Adventures Continue might be over with, but there's plenty of follow-up topics to cover. Too many. Now it's time for me to finally take down my Christmas decorations that I only put up just this once for this video, sober up, and upload all of this footage of me pontificating about cartoon Batman. There could be worse ways to spend 2021. Happy New Year, folks.
The door swings both ways!